Let's discuss something very important. It's a small concept of mathematics, but a very important one that we are going to discuss. Now for this discussion, first of all, we require a number line. So my dear kids, we have a number line here. So on this number line, the first thing which you're going to take is 0. Now we know to the right of 0, we'll take positive numbers. So let's have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left of 0, we're going to take negative numbers, that is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Beautiful. And it's a very stylish number line, isn't it? Yes. So we know that's a number line. Now you'll say on this number line we have integers. But we know one thing, all integers are real numbers, right? So can I say this is a number line representing real numbers? Okay. Now I'm asking you certain very important things. Very simple things rather, you can answer. Okay, I'm going to consider one of the real numbers here. Let's say I'm considering 4. Okay, and I'm asking you what is the distance of this 4 from 0. So what is the distance of 4 from 0? You'll say, let me walk it, let me see. What is that? 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 units. So that means you'll say that we can say that the distance of 4 from 0 is what? Is 4 units. Beautiful. That's nice. So that's so easy. Let's discuss something more. So since we considered a positive real number, let us take a negative real number now. So let's consider -5. And I say, what is the distance of -5 from 0? So you'll say, let us walk it. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll say distance of -5 from 0 is 5 units. You know what we discussed right now? We considered real numbers, one positive, one negative, and I asked you to the distance of that real number from 0. We got that. And you observed that a distance is always positive, isn't it? That is what you observed. Now this concept which you are discussing and which we discuss right now is actually called as absolute value of a real number. And say, what do you mean by that? That means I'm saying right now that absolute value of 4 is 4. Absolute value of -5 is 5. That means I am saying that if we consider any real number and if we take the distance of that real number from 0, that is supposed to be, that is called as the absolute value of that real number. That is the concept which we are discussing. That means we can say that, if I have to define, we can say that if x is a real number, then absolute value of that real number x is its distance from 0. Its distance from 0 on the number line, isn't it? So that means you can say here that the absolute value of 4 is 4. Absolute value of -5 is 5. But you say, I'll have to write the entire statement, entire sentence. No need. There is a symbol for representing absolute value, and that is nothing but very, very easy. That's nothing but, my dear kids, it's the 2 parallel lines which we draw. Right? So 2 vertical lines which you draw. That means that real number which you're considering can be written between these 2 parallel lines. That means we have to say that absolute value of x, that real number, can be written as absolute value of x like this. Right, those 2 vertical lines, that is parallel lines, and in between you write that real number. That means if you have to represent this, how will you write this? You will say absolute value of 4 is 4. If you have to write, you will write, yes, you will draw those 2 vertical lines and between them you will write 4. So this means absolute value of 4 is how much? It is nothing but 4. Beautiful. So then if you have to write absolute value of -5, how do you write it? 2 vertical lines and between them you'll write that number, that is -5. So absolute value of -5 is 5. Beautiful. That means the concept which we discussed is nothing but that is called as absolute value. There is one more name to it. You also call it as modulus. That means we can read this absolute value of 4 as modulus of 4 is 4. Modulus of -5 is 5. You consider any real number. Let's say I consider a real number that is 3.5. So absolute value or the modulus of 3.5 would be 3.5. If I consider a real number that is -5.6, then the absolute value of minus 5.6, or we say the modulus of minus 5.6 will be 5.6. That is what we discussed. Let's see something more about this absolute value, right? Very interesting fact, which you can just observe and create. Let's say, you see here we have a table. Now in this table there are two columns which I am going to consider. One is going to be named as x, the other one is modulus of x. So that means I am considering a real number and I am taking the modulus of that real number. Okay. So I am going to give you certain real numbers. Observe them. Which are they? 1, 3, 5. You will say these are positive real numbers. That means, in other words, we can say these are real numbers greater than 0. That means we have considered x greater than 0. Okay. Let's see, what's the modulus of 1? You will say modulus of 1, that means the distance of 1 from 0. How much is that? Yes, it is 1 unit. Beautiful. Modulus of 3, that means we are saying the distance of 3 from 0 on a number line. How much is that? It is 3. When I say modulus of 5, what is that? It's the distance of 5 from 0 on a number line. And how much is that? It is nothing but 5, isn't it? Simple. Okay. So we got this. Let's have one more table. Now this is going to be interesting. Again, we'll have the same heading, that is the real number x and the modulus of that real number x. Okay. Now observe. I gave you here real numbers which were positive, that means greater than 0. Let me give you a few more real numbers. Observe that, that is minus 2, minus 4 and minus 5. You will see, yes, these real numbers are less than 0. Okay, because they are negative. Okay, let's see what's the modulus of minus 2. Modulus of minus 2, that means the distance of minus 2 from 0 on a number line. How much is that? It's 2. Very good. Modulus of minus 4, that means the distance of minus 4 from 0 on a number line. How much is that? It is 4. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, then we say modulus of minus 5. What is that? The distance of minus 5 from 0 on a number line. How much is that? You will say it is nothing but 5. Okay. Now based on what we have done in this two table, let's make certain conclusion, which is very easy. Here we considered x, that's a real number. But here the real numbers which we considered, they are greater than 0. Right? Can we say that? Yes. So we can say that if x is greater than 0, that means if x is a real number greater than 0, then the modulus of x, what is modulus of x? You see, modulus of x is the same. That means modulus of x in that case will be x itself. Isn't that easy? Yes. Okay. Let's come here and see the next one. When we considered x which were negative, real numbers which were negative, that means less than 0. So what did you observe? So we considered real numbers x, that is less than 0, then modulus of x. Okay, you will say modulus of minus 2 is 2. But are we able to write this 2 in terms of x? Because x is minus 2. How do you write this? You will say 2 is nothing but, it's nothing but as good as minus of minus 2, isn't it? Minus of minus 2 is nothing but plus 2. Right? Yes. So 4 plus 4 can be written as minus of minus 4. So now we are able to write this in terms of x, isn't it? Yes. So same way 5 can be written as minus of minus 5. Beautiful. So now we can say that if we have considered x which is less than 0, then the modulus of that x is nothing but, what do you observe? This is nothing but x. And what do we have with that? It is minus. That means the modulus of x is minus of x. So wasn't that interesting? Very interesting, isn't it? Now you'll say we have considered positive real numbers, negative real numbers, but 0 is also a real number, isn't it? So x can also be 0. So let's consider that too. If x is 0, then what is the modulus of x here? You know that 0, the distance of 0 from 0 is the same, right? It's the same, that is 0. That means we'll say that if we considered x which is 0, that's the real number, then modulus of x, that is modulus of 0, will be 0. So that's what we learned. Wasn't that interesting? That's all about absolute value of a real number.
And yes, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon.